This is an overview of the course, and because the summer session is pretty short, I wanted to give you an overview so you can get started quickly and know where to go and what to do. First of all, let's take a look at the course schedule. As you can see, we have a pretty full schedule here. The course consists of 3 modules, and I want to point out here on the schedule that the first module has some highlighted areas. These are due dates for elements that are in Module 3, so you need to keep track of these due dates. The first module is a review of the PPR test, and for this module you'll be viewing and listening to reviews of the 4 domains that comprise the competencies. And as you can see, you're starting out with the first one, and after you've listened to the review, you'll be taking a quiz, and that's what this first aid is. So very quickly here, this first week of the course, you need to complete the first quiz and then move on. You'll notice that there's a due date here from Module 3, which is for your resume, and this is just submitting your resume to Career Services. You'll find more information about this in the assignment description, but please have a resume ready that you can submit to Career Services. It can be in draft form. It should be a resume that you've developed for obtaining a teaching position, and you'll get feedback from Career Services in the form of a critique, and I'll talk more about that later on. So Module 1 is mainly review of the PPR test with these extra dates in here going to Module 3, and the last part of Module 1, that date is for the ESL practice quiz that you'll see in Module 3. Module 2 covers the textbook materials. There are 2 books for the course. One is School Law, and the other is Teach Like a Champion. So all of these, well, not all of them, the Teach Like a Champion text will be assignments for you to read and then reflect on those that reading material, and you're going to be watching the DVD that comes with the book and then discussing that in the discussion section of D2L. So you'll have 3 of those chapter sections to reflect on, and then there's going to be a self-report at the end of that. For the other book, the School Law, you're going to be reading chapters and then a quiz on each of those chapters. One thing I'll point out quickly about quizzes, in the PPR review section, those quizzes, you can attempt them as many times as you like before the cutoff due date. Be careful with the education law quizzes because you only get 1 attempt with those, so you want to make sure that you've read the chapters in the book before you attempt to do the education law quizzes. And then Module 3, as I've mentioned, you've got a resume. Your draft will go to Career Services. When you get that back, you'll revise it based on the critique and then resubmit it, and you can see the due date is near the end of the course for resubmission. As mentioned, you have the ESL practice quiz to do on July 21st, and then there's one more assignment for the course, and that's your educational philosophy. Now, there's description of this assignment in D2L, so be sure and read that carefully, and I'll try to come back and review that before it's due. And that'll be due in live text. That'll be the one submission that has to go into live text for this course. And that's pretty much it. There's the last item here in the Module 3 refers to a couple forms that are in live text. You only need to fill these forms out if you are completing the program this particular term, and that's the completer survey and or if you had student teaching and you're finished with that and you had a supervisor and you need to do an evaluation. So the only time you have to complete these is in those cases. Okay, let's go to the course. Going to course content. The first section here has the course syllabus. Now I've made slight refinements to the course syllabus since I sent you the email attachment, so you can delete that previous syllabus, and here's the current version in D2L that you can download and view. The tentative schedule, this is pretty much the same as you've already seen in the syllabus that you received, and I've separated that out so you can download that, make a copy or whatever. It doesn't show here, but at the top of your D2L you'll have a calendar link, and the calendar also has all of the assignments so you can see when everything is due. Okay, let's go to the first module. The first thing you're going to be doing is reviewing some materials that relate to student teaching primarily, even if you're not student teaching this term. You'll be reviewing some materials and doing a scavenger hunt that's located in the quizzes, and here's the link to that. You get 2 attempts on this. It's just sort of a way of getting you into looking at materials and taking a quiz in D2L. So be sure and do a review of the materials, and then you can try the quiz the first time. If you miss something, you can always go back and put in the right answer the second time around. Then there's information here about preparing to take the state PPR test. There's a document on educational terminology, and the most important thing here is a test disposition flashcards. You'll be reviewing this material, in particular the flashcards, to prepare for taking this second quiz, the PPR test disposition quiz, and that will relate directly to this material, specifically the flashcards, which sort of give you an orientation to the way the PPR test focuses and how it focuses on the competencies. In Module 2, as I mentioned, looking at the schedule, you'll find the links here to the discussion for the Teach Like a Champion book, as well as links to the quizzes that go with the school law book. Let's take a look at the discussion section while we're talking about it here. Here's the discussion section, and you'll see that there are 3 discussion areas for you to post your reflections on the book materials and viewing the DVR. Be sure to do complete posts on here and do everything before the cutoff dates, and you'll see those dates at the bottom of each of the discussions. Those are the same dates that you see in the course schedule. And then Module 3, which has the information on the resume assignment here. There's some materials to really read related to writing the resumes. If you have not done anything through Career Services, they have some excellent resources for writing resumes. The guidebook I've linked here. I've linked that document here. And then you go to the Dropbox. So right away you're going to be both submitting your resume to Career Services and also putting a copy of that draft resume into the Dropbox here in D2L, and doing that by the end of the day on July 14th. And then when you've revised your resume based on the critiques from Career Services, you'll be submitting your revised resume to the Dropbox here, and that completes the resume assignment. And as I mentioned in looking at the schedule, you've got the ESL practice quiz. Let me close up some things here. You've got the competencies that are tested by that quiz, and then you've got the preparation manual, and the quiz itself is based on this preparation manual that's covered in the ESL test. And then the third thing here is the educational philosophy, and this has the assignment instructions, so a file for developing your philosophy, and the link to live text where you're going to be uploading that philosophy. And that's pretty much it. I do want to go back to looking at the first module. Each of the modules starts with a module checklist. It's best if you go to the checklist, and each time you complete a component in that module, to check off what you've completed on your module checklist, so that you make sure that you've done everything that's necessary for each of the modules. You can also see those modules all together here when you click on the checklist link. These are the same checklists for each of the 3 modules. So be sure and use these checklists so you can keep track of things. You'll notice that the dates are also in there. So you have the print schedule, you have the calendar that's in D2L, and you also have the checklist to keep you on track with the course. If you still have any questions about the course, please contact me anytime, and I'll be glad to answer those questions. Okay, that's it. I hope you have a great course. As I said, be sure and contact me at any time that you want to ask questions. You can use the messages in D2L to do that. I've put my other email address, my other SFA email address here, but you can click on my name in the class list and send a message to me from there, and I'll be sure and get back to you as soon as possible. All right, that's it.